Alrighty, hey, I'm back with another video. So, now we are going to be talking about Who Child, the Netflix doc, Unknown, Catfish, number, baby. It was surprising, but not at the same time, if that made sense. Like, I was shook, but after like 5 seconds of it sitting with me, I said, you wanna know what? That makes all the sense in the world. It makes all the sense in the world. I'm not saying that it's right, but it lines up. It lines up. So this documentary is about some kids. I love how I saw some thread online about how like all like Netflix docs start where it's like, this never happens in a small town like this. Oh, it shook the town to its core, and oh, we would never expect her to be like this. And oh, it's a very tight knit film. Like I love it because it be the facts of the matter. Those type of places is where the crazy happen. It don't be in like the big cities like New York and LA like y'all be thinking. It be them small ass towns because they don't be having nothing else to do. So it's the story about a very little small town, I believe in like Illinois or Michigan. I think Michigan. And about, you know, how there's this, we're focusing right now on like this really, really small teenage group, you know, within, you know, this town. I think it's, trust me, I know towns. My family is from like North Carolina, the deep South, like, there are definitely schools that are like K through 12 for sure. Actually, no, I'm right here in Pittsburgh, and a lot of the schools, like when I first moved out here, were like K through 12. Like that's a real thing. And as somebody that moved around her entire life, I always found it interesting, like people like going to schools where people have like literally known each other since pre-K or kindergarten and like have always gone to the same school. That shit was always interesting to me because like that's where shit gets the most messy. It's the fact. So we talk about how we got these two kids, Lauren and Owen. Lauren and Owen, you know, they get together in middle school. They're a cute little couple. And I mean, I've heard people say this, like, and I agree. I don't, like, okay, if I'm, like, when I have a kid, right, but my daughter's only 1. But I personally won't be encouraging or openly supporting her being in a relationship at like 12 years old, 13. However, the reality of the situation is she doesn't need me to support it. That's the thing. She's gonna do it anyway because think about it, as a kid, when was your first boyfriend or girlfriend? I think I got my first boyfriend at the age of like 7. But by the time I hit middle school, by the end of middle school going into high school, I had at least 3 or 4 boyfriends sometime in between like middle school. So like, you supporting it, that's neither here nor there. That's what the kid's going to do. So anyway, they was in a cute little couple, you know, little relationship. And a little bit into the relationship, I believe like the girl Lauren start to get all of these like weird text messages from an unknown number saying how Owen was cheating on her and didn't like her and she should kill herself, and she like nobody likes her and all of these really nasty things about her. And then would text Owen and be like, oh, you need to tell her to get out of here. But a lot of the things that were being said were things that could only be known by like people that were really, really close. Like, so for example, they were all on this basketball team together. So the whole doc is pretty much going down this whole rabbit hole, this left and right at the Law and Order SVU, you know, type of diversion type shit, to try to figure out who is this person that's sending all these nasty text messages, because it has stopped for a little while, stopped for like a good year. Then, you know, Owen and Lauren broke up because it was just way too much going on around that. Then he gets with some girl, Owen gets with some girl that lives like a whole few towns away. And that girl start getting text messages. Her mama start getting text messages. So then it just starts up all over again. So again, we go through all of this left and right, and spoiler alert, if you don't want to know, we come to find out that it's Lauren's mama. Lauren's mama, KENDRA, was the one sending these very disgusting, nasty, freaking mean text messages to her own daughter, her own child, and her child's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend. and anybody that talked to her child's ex-boyfriend. I said, Miss Kendra, are you in therapy? Are you in therapy? Let's go through some of the different things that stood out to me right within this doc. First of all, it just highlights what happens when you live in such a very small town like that. Because I feel like, number one, them being in a small town where don't nobody got nothing else to fuck to do is partially why. I mean, I think there's a lot of reasons why Kendra did what she did. But I think part of it is when, trust me, I've lived, like, okay, I'm in Pittsburgh, right? But they're outside of like the actual city of Pittsburgh. Like once you leave technically the limits, all of these towns are like really, really small. Everybody knows everybody. Honestly, everybody in Pittsburgh knows everybody's business. Like it's like 2 degrees of separation, probably no less than that. Okay, around here, and everybody knows everybody's business, and because it's not much to do here, like there ain't shit to do in the city of Pittsburgh for real, outside of like right now, like when the Steelers is playing, like then everybody want to go to a bar, but there ain't nothing to do here. So what niggas do all day is be in everybody's business, be on Facebook being messy, be like people on Instagram being messy, starting shit. And so I feel like part of the reason why they started is because y'all live in a small ass town where nothing happened. So you ain't, this Kendra ain't got nothing better to do any damn way, okay? Not to say that that's an excuse. Number 2, it also stood out to me, and to me this goes back to not having nothing to do. The fact that neither one, well, clearly it wouldn't have mattered for Lauren because her mama was doing it. But it stood out to me like, why didn't Owen's mom just get him a new phone? And I was thinking the same thing about Lauren's mom at the same time, and both of them had said the same thing of like, oh, well, I don't think it's fair that my kid should get another phone because somebody else. Okay, maybe it's not fair, but that's just how life is. And if you want your child to have any type of sanity, then how about you get them a new phone? Now, granted, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered. But at least from Owen's mom thing, to me, it goes back to you having nothing to do. No, you want to know why you didn't get your son another phone? Because you're not trust me, you're not the same as Kendra, but you're the same in the sense of it's because you needed something to do. You didn't have nothing better to do with your time. So instead of just getting your son a new phone and just letting it be what it is, you decided to take this whole thing on as your new like side gig, your new personality, or whatever it is, so that you had some shit to be invested into. I think that's why she probably didn't. I feel like that's why her blinders was so up with Kendra. Not to say that that's her fault, because Kendra was just lying. But I think they both had that same thing of, like, even when the school was like, oh, they was up here every single day, it was nonstop, they were being annoying as fuck. Yeah, because them bitches didn't have nothing else to do. They didn't. Because in all reality, you could have just got your kid a new phone. Period. And if you get him a new phone, right, and he's constantly still getting those messages, then you would have been able to whittle it down better to be able to tell who it was. You bitches didn't have nothing better to do, okay? Then let me also really fast talk about Miss Chloe real fast. Let me just say this. And to her parents as well. As a prior teenager who wasn't necessarily, I don't know, I feel like when I was in middle school, I definitely was like, I guess considered like a lame or whatever. But by the time I hit high school, I felt like I still hung out with the same people, but I felt like I could like kind of fit. I was cool with the people who were super popular, or at least some of them. And then I was cool with people who I guess would be considered not popular. But I'm saying all of that to say is that as the person on the unpopular side of things, I know how the popular girls act. I know the look. I know the verbiage. The way that I knew that Chloe and those two girls were bullies was simply by the way that they described, I cannot think of my girl's name, but the other girl with the braces who was super, super cute. You wanna know what they said? Because she was always with like them other girls. Like, she always had another friend group, you know, like, pretty much trying to say that she was weird. Like, she hung out with the weird kids. So if she hung out with the weird kids, then what are you? Point of the matter is, I was a teenage girl. Chloe was a bully, period. They were not lying. That little girl, Chloe, was a bully. Everything about her reads typical bully. We didn't, bro, and I went online afterwards, and I'm so glad that everybody saw the same thing that I saw. That little girl, Chloe, not saying that she is now, but she absolutely was a bully. And when y'all say she was a leader, yeah, because she was the ringleader of her and those two other girls sitting around and bullying people. Facts of the matter. Facts. Facts. Maybe sometimes it wasn't to the full degree of maybe what other people said, but everything about that little girl and everything about them gives bully. And then when you meet Chloe's parents, it's like, see? Her dad's a cop. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I was going to say something about her mom. But the point is, the mom and the dad give bully energy. So if y'all give bully energy, what the fuck did I say about your kid? Yes. And then they wanted to play victim the whole daggone time. Now, yes, I'll say this. Yes, they were wrong for, you know, they were wrong in the sense of she wasn't the one that started the messages. But they wasn't wrong for looking at her. That girl is a bully. And that girl is going to continue to be a bully because she going to have parents who are not only bullies themselves, okay, but also are going to constantly pander and be like, no, she's such a good girl. She's such a good girl. She's such a good. That little girl is a bully. Period. You cannot tell me no different. That little girl is a bully. Now, Kendra. Here's my thing with Kendra. I got a lot of things with Kendra. First of all, I hated a few things about how that like whole confrontation went down. Number one, I hate the fact that maybe they didn't know that she was there. But if I'm the cops, I'm asking her if Lauren is home. And if Lauren is home, before we have the conversation about what you did, I need your husband to come home first. Because I hated that when they finally told Lauren what was going on, that Kendra is sitting there hugging her and rubbing her. And like, no, girl, get the fuck off of her. Do not touch her. Because to me, that's manipulation within itself. And eventually, because I'm paying attention to body language, eventually you can see Lauren like rubbing her mom's back like, no, it's okay. It's okay. Kendra needs, this is my thing. When Kendra was sentenced, because Kendra was sentenced, I think like 19 months, right? When she was sentenced, was she also mandated to be in therapy? Was she also mandated to be on some type of, like medication? Because it's clear that lady is not well. That lady sat on this documentary and compared like the fact that sometimes she said, oh, well, we all like break the law. It's just that like I got caught and y'all didn't. That's how she rationalizes it. That lady needs therapy and medication. She ain't stable up here. Her husband was so sick because not even fuck the fact. Let's start with the fact that you did this shit to your daughter. Like, let's start there. You did this to your own kid. But not only that, you lied about the fact that you had a job. You didn't have a job for a year. You lied about the fact that you got fired, that you quit your job when you actually got fired. Y'all moved around, like, and that was his thing. Like, we moved around from this house to this house to this house to this house. And we're struggling behind on bills because we're moving so much because of everything going on with this whole thing. And you're telling me that financially now we're fucked because you want to be around here playing reindeer games? I love when he was like, come get your daughter, bruh. Because like he said, if they was not here, they need to get you out of here because that man was going to put full hands, feet, concrete, everything on that woman. He was about to literally hurt that woman. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. How trifling. And then like I said, for you to like, to me, like, be like kind of manipulating your daughter by like trying to rub her while he's telling her that her mother is the one that's been giving her hell over the last 2 years. Like, what are we even talking about? So, you know, she goes to jail or whatever. Like I said, her excuse. So let's get into Kendra's excuse. Kendra says that she was not the one who initially started sending the text messages, and I don't believe her. I don't believe her. I do not believe her. I think that's her not trying to take full accountability. But all right, let's just say that you didn't. She said she wasn't the person who started sending the text messages. She started sending text messages because she was trying to get more information, you know, from the kids, you know, to see what is it, if maybe something, you know, like that they're not telling the parents, or maybe they can give them some information. My thing is this. Yes, kids try to hide things all the time. But at the end of the day, this didn't seem like it was a situation where Lauren or Owen was trying to hide anything. My thing is, Owen literally gave the FBI his entire phone for them to do a data extraction. So what the fuck do you think that you can get from faking faking being someone versus the FBI actually doing a data extraction on their phone? No. So that was her excuse, right? And then she said from there, it just kind of like spiraled and spiraled and spiraled. This is what I think happened. And I'm with Owen's mama when she said this. Owen's mama said that she feels like Kendra had a weird obsession with Owen. And Owen or confirmed that by saying that in hindsight, Kendra would go out of her way to do a lot of shit for Owen. Cut his food up, like literally will stand there and cut his steak, ask if he needs this, ask if he needs that, being more flirtatious, being more Miss Parker than being, you know, somebody's my girlfriend's mama. And the fact that Owen's mama was like, even when Lauren and Owen broke up, Kendra is still coming to every single thing that Owen has going on, asking about what she can do. This is what I think happened. And she said, now, I think that multiple things can be true. I think that Kendra lives in a very, very small town where she ain't got shit to do and she ain't got no real motherfucking identity outside of her daggone small ass town living and her husband and her kids. I think that's true. I do think that it's true to a degree when Kendra says that when she had her daughter, that a lot of her unhealed trauma and stuff like that was starting to be like placed on her daughter, and she was reliving a lot of things. That part, 1,010%. Because I want to stop there for a really quick second. I think that's something as parents across the board we need to be more cognizant about, especially when you have a child. Because for sure, I have a 1-year-old, and let me tell you, she's only one, baby, and the amount of trauma, baby, that I am low-key reliving with me only having a 1-year-old is insanity. Like, I didn't even know it was possible. Because, mind you, I'm currently in therapy and have been. So, but I think that's why things like that are important. That's why I feel like all women, like, when you become pregnant, you need to get in therapy immediately. And you need to stay in therapy because you need to deal with a lot of your... Having children will trigger a lot of shit from your childhood. It really, really will. So that's why I'm saying I'm not negating that. That is very true. But that's why you have to do the work. You need to be in therapy. If you need to be on some type of damn medication to be able to work through that so that you are not projecting what you went through onto your child. And I do think that it's partially that. But she talked about how she was, assaulted, at a certain age. So when she sees her daughter get older, it makes her feel like she has to protect her. I think that's partially true, but I'm going to tell you what I really think it is. I believe, and this is the thing. This is what I'm saying. She took it to the very, very extreme, but trust me, there are parents that do this shit all the time. Kendra was vicariously living through her daughter. That's to me what this boils down to. I think they call it cyber Munchausen's. There we go. Cyber Munchausen's. And I'm like, yes, that's pretty much exactly what this is. And it's also, to me, when a parent tries to live vicariously through their child. And the reason I feel like that is because I feel like that's how Owen ties into this. I think that when her daughter was born, she felt like she was being reborn. So yes, there's a lot of trauma that's being attached to that, but I'm also seeing her get older, and I'm also seeing that maybe she's in this relationship that I wish that as a grown woman that I could have did when I was that age, or I wish that I could be in something like that now, because I don't feel like that with my husband. So I am now vicariously living through my daughter, right? To the point where that's why I feel like her obsession with Owen started. Because, oh, that's my daughter's boyfriend, but no, that's really my boyfriend. And he's really mine. Like, I really feel like that lady saw herself in her daughter so much to me that she wanted to literally be her and felt like she was her. So much to the point where it's like, no, Owen is mine, and got a real weird ass attachment. And that's the part, like I said, that I think Owen's mama was spot on. I think she grew a weird attachment. Cause this is my thing. Let's go with your theory, right? That you were just trying to protect your daughter. So what the hell does you texting Owen's other girlfriend, what does that have to do with your daughter? It has nothing to do with your daughter. You have an obsession with that little boy, which is why I'm with everybody that says that I feel like she should have been on an actual predators list because of the stuff. It's not even so much that you were texting mean and vile things. It's the sexual stuff that you were saying to both Lauren about Owen and to Owen. That was disgusting. That was disgusting. She needs to be on medication. She needs to be in therapy, and she needs to be just psych eval every couple months, for real. So if we get on to like Lauren, my heart just hurts for that little girl because I see the pain. Like, it feels like it's like a wall. It's like a. Oh, and that's what I wanted to say too. I'm gonna tell you what else, like the way that Lauren is responding. So pretty much Lauren still wants to have a relationship with her mom. You know, she understands that she did the wrong thing, but she wants to be able to build and have a relationship with her mom because she feels like it's a part that she's missing of her, right? If y'all ever heard of the story of Kamaya, and if you watched Eon Fix My Life, you would have seen this episode, and it was the story of this little black girl who was kidnapped, like, from the hospital, you know, like from her mom at birth. So her mom like gave birth when she was a teenager, and then one of the nurses like stole her baby or whatever, and then raised the baby, you know, like she was her own. And then when Kamaya became like 16, 17 and started to work, she found out that her mom was not really her mom and that her mom had kidnapped her. Her mom went to jail, like the mom that took her went to jail. And in the Ayanla episode, it's them trying to work through that, and that little girl has so much anger, rightfully so, but so upset. But one of the biggest issues is that her biological mother didn't understand the fact that Kamaya wanted to have a relationship with the woman that raised her. And that was where the strain of their relationship was. But the way that Kamaya, like she said, looked at it is like, I know that she took me and I know that wasn't right, but that's my mom. Like, she raised me. It's not like she took me and did something terrible with me. She gave me everything that I needed and then some. And I feel like that's what this is. Like, we all have moms. So, like, it's your mom. You know what I mean? Like, some people can be like, bro, I don't care that you're my mom. That's messed up, and don't talk to me ever again in life. Like, that's how I am. I could cut somebody off. I don't care who you are. If you fuck me over to that degree, we ain't never got to talk again. But I understand with it being people's mother. Like, it's your mama. Your mama probably is one of the only people in life that could probably do, like, it happens all the time. Like, there's people who moms are abusive and don't show up and are drug addicts, and you still love them because it's like an instinctual thing. It's your mom. It's the person who carried you. It's the person who gave you life, which is why for me it's even more messed up that you would do that to your kid. That lady is unwell, and maybe that's how her daughter processes it. Like, I know that it's not a purposeful thing. I know that my mom is just like, there's something mentally not right up there. But that shit threw me for a loop, y'all. I stand in the fact that Chloe is a bully. I'm not letting that go because her parents really pissed me off. Because y'all are bullies too. I can tell. When her mom was sitting there going off and the cop, he's just like, I'm so proud of her for that. Yeah, y'all love being mean to people. I bet. Get this shit out my face. But y'all tell me what y'all think about. Bye.